All right, we're recording. Welcome to Papi and the Wildman podcast number 3, number trace. This one is going to be about music, something that Papi is very familiar with.
Oh yeah, I like that music stuff.
Okay, so we're going to start with my theory about Pink Floyd. Do you know the guy who was staring at the lights because he was functioning on a higher cosmic level?
Yeah, that was one of the early guitar players, right?
Yeah, Sid Barrett. He was the original frontman. I suspect he might have actually been the contributing member the entire time, the main lyricist behind Dark Side of the Moon, Wish You Were Here, and The Wall.
Oh, that's a very interesting theory.
Okay, so here's what I think. I think he had a severe mental illness, schizophrenia, and when he got famous after Piper at the Gates of Dawn, he had a little bit of a meltdown. I believe they kept him protected because of this. He recovered and he came back with a vengeance with Dark Side of the Moon and onward. If you really think about it, it makes sense. They said he had a babying mother. They said he was severely bullied, and then he had to tear down the wall and become a part of society. Wish You Were Here, blurring fantasy and reality. Like the song Brain Damage, The Lunatic. If you really think about it, it's like Sid Barrett was Pink Floyd. This is my theory. I think they gave credit to Roger Waters and the rest of the band, but my theory is Sid Barrett was Pink Floyd. If you really think about it, it makes sense.
So you're saying it was Pink Barrett?
I think it was Pink Barrett, yeah.
Yeah. I like the theory. It's a very good theory. Well, good for entertainment, but I don't think so.
No.
No. But
you think he really was staring at the lights because he was on a higher cosmic level?
No. I mean, I think. I mean, obviously, he was an alien from some other planet or some other realm, brought to this land to to do the Pink Floyd thing, and Pink is not. He wasn't well. He was back at the hotel, and actually, he wasn't back at the hotel. The mothership came down and took him back, and is he with Elvis now? Of course he is. And those guys are up there just jamming away.
And doing astronomy domain, stars can frighten.
Hey, come on, and put it together.
All right, so let's move on from Pink Floyd to the Beach Boys. Brian Wilson. I think an album I really like is Pet Sounds and Smile. I think Brian Wilson was like really intense, really energetic, ahead of the times. Brian Wilson was who I mean, what are your thoughts on Brian Wilson?
A boy genius.
A boy genius, exactly.
Yep.
And yeah, really driven.
And didn't the Beatles really praise him as kind of like somebody they wanted to mentor toward? Oh, not mentor, but
especially Brian Wilson got his inspiration for Pet Sounds after hearing Rubber Soul. So then he tried creating the perfect album, every note perfect, every harmony, every lyric, and then and obviously Rolling Stone ranks Pet Sounds as like number 1 or number 2 of the greatest album of all time, and then Beatles said, you know what, we're gonna try and outdo it and do the same thing with Sgt. Pepper, create the perfect album, and actually Paul McCartney says God Only Knows is top 5, if not favorite song of all time. He says that song's a real tearjerker for him. He'll hear it, he'll start crying. He loves the song God Only Knows.
Now, yeah. Do you think McCartney ever sang that song?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if in later years he sang it in concert with Brian Wilson. So I would say it's definitely not a stretch to think he may have.
Do you think Paul McCartney sang Happy Birthday today?
I mean, I would assume he probably did.
Well, no. Actually, that was kind of like a little twist, because today is Paul McCartney's birthday.
Is it?
Yeah. So they probably sang Happy Birthday to him.
So Paul McCartney, happy birthday today. Right. So what do you think of the Beatles? I think they're good. Obviously they're the most iconic, and some people would say they are the greatest rock band of all time. But John Lennon was a little pretentious. I like the song "Hey Jude." I like the song "Let It Be." I like the songs "Long and Winding Road." But a lot of the John Lennon song is "Money Can't Buy Me Love." It's just like pretentious. I don't get it. And "Love Me Do." Love, love me do. It's kind of like some of their songs are really cheesy, but they do have some really good hits too.
Oh, yeah. You can't hit a home run every time you step up to the plate, but you got to keep swinging. And wasn't it Wayne Gretzky who said 100% of the shots that you don't take will never score?
Right. So I guess we can move on, skipping right along. Let's move on to Queen, Freddie Mercury. He was a great showman, a great vocalist, and, his performance at Live Aid was iconic and amazing.
Hey-o.
Hey-o. Great showman.
Hey-o.
So and actually, believe it or not, they say Serge Tankian from System of a Down actually is as good of a vocalist as Freddie Mercury, but only his music isn't as highly regarded. So actually, he can hit the high notes, he can hit the low notes. Serge Tankian has a very big range from System of a Down, but obviously Freddie Mercury, a lot of people say, he gets because he has the iconic catalog too. And I like System of a Down. Don't get me wrong, System of a Down is a pretty fun band, but they definitely wouldn't be regarded as highly as Queen. I wouldn't say.
Yeah, no, I don't think they would. And plus, you look at the songs that they put out. I'm talking about Queen. A lot of them are classics, and that's what the audience likes. Kind of like us, Papi and Wildman.
Right. So moving right along to the '90s, grunge, Alice in Chains, Nirvana, Soundgarden, Pearl Jam. You know what I kind of liked about grunge? It kind of like shattered the pretense of music. You have like the Beatles doing their like "Love, Love Me Do," and Nirvana was smash in your face, aggressive metal music, and it was kind of like I like how they shattered the pretense of music in that way.
But what about Helter Skelter?
I guess you're right. Good point. And actually, if you think about it, back to Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd, Vegetable Man, was actually inventing punk rock in the 1960s. I don't know if you'd classify it as punk rock, but it was just like he was just like freaking out on Vegetable Man. It's like he's technically inventing punk rock,
That song was definitely a higher awareness to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoa. Whoa.
He had a higher awareness. So moving on, Linkin Park and Limp Bizkit. I think Linkin Park was pretty good in the 2000s.
Yeah, unfortunately, their lead singer,
Chester Bennington.
Right, he checked out of the human race, and that was a big loss because he was talented.
Yeah, it was a tragedy. Anytime somebody struggles with mental health issues and does something like that, it's obviously a tragedy. And the same was true. The same was true for Kurt Cobain. He did the same thing, and that's a tragedy too. Actually, if you think about it, weren't the Nirvana songs kind of like a cry for help? If you think about it, it was like an intense, aggressive cry for help. All of his songs, so it was kind of like I think he wanted the title "In Utero." I hate myself and want to die. So it was kind of like it was in your face, and unfortunately, the signs were there, and it happened.
Yeah. And there's always rumors too that foul play came into being with his with his loss also. But
yeah, I know a lot of people speculate that it was Courtney Love that was responsible, but from my perspective, it sounded like Kurt. Sometimes the most obvious explanation is the right one, and from my perspective, it does sound like it was a suicide. That's just my personal opinion. The guy, it just seems that way to me. What do you think?
Yeah, I guess all signs led up to that. I think he tried, or he overdosed over in Europe a couple of months beforehand, or so I mean, yeah, there was problems there, but unfortunately, his support group wasn't a strong one, and that's the importance when it's important it's important to know who your support group is, and it's important to know that you do have a support group also. I mean, we're all fragile. We all have our downs at times, but when you can reach out and you have people who are patting you on the back, and people who are looking out for you, even if you don't think they are, that's the important part of surviving in life also. And it's easy to say that he didn't have a support group, but I don't know, but he should have been able, or people should have been able to talk to him and help
He was
him out.
he was a reckless Wildman, like Jim Morrison of the Doors. That's another reckless frontman, Wildman. Sometimes when you get hit with
The wrestler?
that's John Morrison.
Oh, okay.
And Jim Morrison of the Doors. That's kind of what we're talking about. Reckless frontmans. Jim Morrison, Kurt Cobain, Sid Barrett. They have the Wildman diagnosis.
Rick Astley,
never gonna give you up.
Oh, he's a wild man.
Oh, he's a wild man. Speaking of wild mans, let's move on to Lady Gaga.
Just one last thing here. You know what I heard today?
What?
I heard Rick Astley doing a Foo Fighters song. Everclear. Everlong. Yep. And I was like, wow, that's really interesting. So, wow, there's the perfect circle.
A perfect circle. Maynard James Keenan, Tool.
There you go. What a
perfect, sober, Anemia. I'm a big fan of Tool. I'm a big fan of Anemia. When I was in college, I remember it like around 2005. I loved their albums, Undertow, Anemia, Laterals, even a thousand days. I was a big fan of Tool in college, and I love Maynard James Keenan. So big fan of Tool.
They just put out a new album a couple of months ago. And
isn't every song like 15 minutes? Every song is like 15 minutes.
I think so. I heard a couple of songs from that, the new, I still call them albums. I guess they're not albums anymore. They're release. And boy, I really enjoyed it. I mean, it really came through really well.
Yeah, they're a talented group, and a perfect circle. Maynard's side project is pretty good too. He's obviously a good musician, and that is what it is.
That's probably what? That was probably his military upbringing.
Is that his right?
Right? Wasn't he in the military?
I don't know. Maybe he was.
I think he was.
Was he?
Yeah.
So let's move on to Lady Gaga. I know you don't like modern pop music, but she really shattered the pop scene. Everybody was pretty cookie cutter, and she, was very sensational with her songs and very,
and her meat suit.
And her weird outfits, like her meat suit and her weird dresses, and she really, completely changed the music industry with her, with her talent.
I saw her perform.
Did you?
Yeah, I was working a cat loss in Chicago one summer, and while there, I guess in Grant Park, they had a music festival. I forget which one it was, but she was one of the performers for one of the nights. And I went and I saw the Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga is very talented. So what do you think of Taylor Swift? Do you know anything about her?
I know that you really like her.
Yeah, I like, I pretty much like all her albums. I like her first album. I like Red. I like 1989. I like Reputation. I even like her new album, Lover. I'm a big Taylor Swift fan, to be honest with you.
That's good. It's good to find, I guess, happiness or joy in somebody's music.
I know a lot of people think that it's girly pop music, but I don't know. I really like her music, and it's fun, and it's fun pop music.
Hey, if it's good music, it's good music. It doesn't really matter what you classify it or what people classify it as.
Right. And I know Maroon 5, they played the Super Bowl show and really butchered it. But I do like the song She Will Be Loved by Maroon 5. I think that might rank up there with one of my all-time favorite songs. I think it's really powerful. Sometimes you get people with all these pretentious lyrics, and something as simple as "She will be loved" really says it all. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be sophisticated. It doesn't have to be deep. I think that just says it all. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I like that song. What, Phone Booth? Is that a song?
Payphone. I'm at a pay. Yeah, that's a good one. Payphone.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised this generation knows what a payphone is.
But yeah, the lyrics are kind of dated if you think about it.
Yeah, don't fall.
I won't.
Whoa. Oh, so.
Do you have any, I know you like the Grateful Dead. Riff on artists you like.
I like Grateful Dead. They're good. I like that Neil Young.
You like Neil Young?
Yeah. I like the Foo Fighters. We mentioned them before.
I like the Foo Fighters, and they do really have a lot of good songs, especially the songs on Color and Shape. But I feel like lately they're just really background noise in arenas, if you know what I mean. Like, you hear the Nassau Coliseum, it's like, oh, that's nice, it's the Foo Fighters. And I would go to a Foo Fighters concert, and I know all their songs. It would probably be a fun experience. But a lot of the 90s stuff and a lot of the Foo Fighters stuff has just kind of turned into just background noise, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You know who I like? I like those Counting Crows.
Oh, the Counting Crows.
Yeah, I like them. I was listening to Recovering the Satellites the other day, and I was like, wow, I really enjoyed that album or CD.
Cool. Do you still listen to CDs, or did you finally move over to digital?
I do a little bit of both, but I mean, a little bit of both.
I think everybody at this point has moved over to digital because, unfortunately, CDs are kind of irrelevant at this point.
Yeah, maybe so. I mean, you got a good point there. And
do you use music on your iPhone? Because I think that's what a lot of people do.
Yeah, I mean, I usually have it playing in the background sometimes.
So, like, who do you find you're listening to lately?
Oh, who have I been listening to lately? I'm going to say Fish.
Fish. Ooh.
Yeah. I know I'm late to the party, the Fish party, but they have their own station on the satellite radio, and yeah, I'm trying to get into the Fish.
So what do you think about Stained with Aaron Lewis? I like dark and depressing Stained early on when the guy was like an emotional mess. But then when he started singing about how happy his life is and how he got his life together, it's kind of like, I don't like that as much. I know sometimes people like the dark and depressing and like, I'm going through hard times. But then when everybody, is living a like happy and joyous life, it's kind of like, I don't like that Stained anymore, you know?
Yeah, you got a point. I mean, the early Stained stuff, it was really up against the wall. And yeah, I mean, I can't even tell you any of the current stuff.
No, yeah, the early Stained was really the cool stuff, if you know what I mean.
How about you? Who you've been listening to?
That's what I'm trying to think of. That's why I said Stained. Linkin Park, Stained, Taylor Swift, Lady Gaga, Maroon 5.
I mean, I still like the old classics. I like the Beach Boys, the Beatles, of course. Even like Bob Dylan. I mean, I all this stuff it has its place, and good music is still good music.
Right.
You know, current music, I can't even tell you who my most like current or recent musician that I listen to. I mean, there really isn't anybody.
I don't think I don't think it's a matter of music getting better or worse. I think music in the 60s, 70s, and 80s was more pop culture. And to find the good artists, you have to dig into the indie scene. I don't think people necessarily became less talented or more talented. I think, it's not pop culture, so the artists are a little bit more difficult to find. But sometimes they say the cream rises to the top. So you see people who rise to the top like Taylor Swift and Lady Gaga who are very talented. But
Of course.
but often there's a lot of talented artists on the indie scene who don't get discovered. But I don't think the music has. Okay.
But I kind of disagree with you, and you take an artist like let's say Springsteen, and his entire life, his entire craft revolves around music or what he's done with music and such. You don't find that today. Name me some artists that have been around for like 10 years, and you can only name a handful of artists that, and like you pointed out, the talented ones. But I think today, and I'm not trying to be like an old person or anything, but I don't think that the dedication is actually there. I think they get lost with making a record, having a hit single, and then moving on, or maybe the crowd or the people who follow these artists just move on, and it's there's no long dedication to the craft anymore, and that's disappointing.
What do you think about Tom Petty and David Bowie?
They were both talented, very talented performers. You look at the whole body of their work, and there's a lot to enjoy from their catalogs.
If you had to name a favorite album of all time, what's your favorite album of all time?
Oh, wow. The first one that came to mind was London Calling by The Clash.
Oh, The Clash, punk rock. So that's a good one. London Calling, The Clash. That's a really good album. Obviously, mine. I try to guess my favorite album.
Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys.
Right, it's Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys, but London Calling by The Clash is a good pick too.
I would put on my top 10 list of all times. I would put that album on the list as well.
Right.
I mean, it's just classic. What else would I put on the list?
A lot of the Beatles stuff definitely has to make the list. Some of it, at least maybe Sgt. Pepper or something like that.
Yeah, or the live, or the Beatles, the White Album.
Right.
And I also like Abbey Road.
Right.
I mean, those are three albums that are very. How about this? What are your favorite? Give me your top 5 double albums of all time.
Ooh. I guess the White Album. Just The Wall. Yeah. Pink Floyd, The Wall.
Yeah.
Is The Clash a double album? Is London Calling? Is that a double album?
Oh.
I think technically it is.
Was that a double album?
Sandinista definitely was.
Yeah, Sandinista. London. No, Sandinista was 3.
Yeah. That was 3. So let's put London Calling on the list. The White Album.
Yes, London Calling.
Calling. What was the other one I said?
The Wall.
The Wall. Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness by Smashing Pumpkins.
Pumpkins.
I don't know.
Blonde on Blonde by Dylan.
I'm not familiar with that one.
Very good album. Very good as well.
I can't think of any others.
Yeah, and as soon as we go off, we'll probably think of 100.
I know.
That's pretty. Oh, also, what was the Clapton one? With Layla. Was that a double album?
Derek and the Dominoes?
Yeah, Derek and the Dominoes. Very
Okay.
good. Very good. Yeah, music is good. Music is the background of our lives,
Yeah.
I mean, Music is a good thing.
It is.
Yeah. And we didn't even talk about NSYNC.
Dirty Pop with Justin Timberlake.
What are you talking about, Andy?
Gary Coleman. Happy Christmas, Merry Holidays.
Exactly.
We love NSYNC, Papi and the Wildman.
Oh.
Justin Bieber. We like Justin Bieber too, don't we? Sort of. We like NSYNC, Justin Timberlake, and Justin Bieber, ironically. We don't actually like them, but we say we like them. It's kind of like one of those deals.
Yeah, you got a point. Very good.
So you think that does it?
I think we covered the music scene tonight.
That is what it is!